everyone, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Paranormal Minds. I am your host, Shannon Ray.
Christopher Sharp.
And we are here this evening to enlighten you more about Middle Georgia Paranormal Investigations. Usually this time of the month we would be showcasing another paranormal team, but we kind of had one that had some stuff come up, so we're going to showcase ourselves.
Sounds good.
That's because we're amazing. Chris is feeling a lot better this week. He was a little bit under the weather last week, so he's feeling a lot better. Now I'm not worried about getting his cooties.
I'm still coughing.
No, don't breathe your germs. I'm going to put up a shield. So we'll get right into it with basically what we're going to do, because we've already talked about what our team is and who we are and introduced everyone. We're going to highlight a particular location that we have the awesome privilege of investigating. My husband's family, Shane, actually owns a home in downtown Macon. It's a historic home, and we kind of use it as our paranormal playground.
Training grounds.
Okay, training playground. It's a really great location. Actually, when my husband's grandfather and great uncle were alive, we originally didn't think it was haunted. And it took a few experiences with my husband and with us, and then we kind of figured out, okay, well, maybe it's haunted. So we did an investigation and got nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so we were like, okay, maybe it's not haunted. So we go back and we just use it as a place to train people for right then at that moment. This was about 2009, the year. And so we use it in 2009 just to train people, to train investigators. As an investigator, it's really great to be able to train people, new members, in a location where they can use the equipment on real things. For example, EMF detectors. They detect EMF, and when we go into a location, we're looking for EMF, natural sources of EMF that could explain why people are feeling some weird things. And you can't find those the natural sources or man-made sources of EMF, like old microwaves, old stoves, old light fixtures. You cannot find those in the middle of a park or somewhere. You need these. We believe fully that for a person to learn, they need to have the equipment in their hands, and they need to be using that and learning it. So back in 2009, I was taking new trainees over to this house on Walnut Street in downtown Macon, just to train them. And we were over there one night, and we were just using the equipment. I was going through, explaining the equipment, what we would use it for. If we had some paranormal activity, what would happen? And all of a sudden, we hear these footsteps upstairs. And I radioed to Shane, my husband, and I said, "Are you upstairs?" And he says, "No, I'm out on the front porch." And I said, "Okay." So at this point, I know it's just me and this other woman in the house, and I'm like, okay. So we go and look upstairs. There's nothing there. I'm like, maybe it was just a rat. I don't know, making footsteps. But you try to just chalk it up. Because remember, there are big rats. But remember, we'd already done an investigation and got nothing. And so we go back in the room, downstairs in the master bedroom, and we're using the equipment some more. And then all of a sudden, we hear the footsteps again. And so this is I'll never forget, it's about 10 o'clock at night. And we're just sitting there and we're listening to these footsteps above us for about 30 minutes. And it was so wicked awesome. And then I'm like, okay, come on, show yourself. And about that time, there were some pots on a dining room table. You hear one of the pots be picked up, dropped. And then you hear like these big boom, 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 boom footsteps in the kitchen, like they're about to charge into the master bedroom where we're at. And I'm just like frozen. And it was because this place, we had done an investigation and we never thought that it would be haunted. We were just like completely thrown off, to say the least. So we had, from then on out, we have used that location as a mock investigation for new members to our group, that we bring them in, we let them use the equipment, and we do an investigation over there. And we have every single time since then gotten evidence, great, amazing evidence from over there. So that was just kind of a brief introduction to the house we're going to be talking about tonight. We've been using this house now for what, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. Almost, yeah. Almost, yeah. To do these kind of things. And so we're going to give you the best of what we call the Walnut Street house and show you the best evidence that we found. And then we're also going to showcase what we found on November the 21st over there. We got some great visual evidence that I think we were all pretty proud of. So first, I guess we'll start off by talking about the house itself, because it's a historic home.
Yeah.
So it was built around the turn of the century, about 1900, 1903. Before that, it was the lot. You have a lot that the house sits on, the Walnut Street house, and then you have a lot next door now that another house sits on. Well, before that, downtown Macon was sectioned into these huge, like, kind of mini plantation lots where they could grow crops and things of that nature. So there was one big house that sat on a lot, and it was owned by a German family that basically just did their crops and had their little slave little house out back and things of that nature. Well, something happened to that house. Not really sure. There was no record of it. It just kind of vanished, thinking it might have been a fire, but don't have documents to support that yet. And from there, this house was built. My husband's grandparents' house on Walnut Street. It literally was built to be a rental property. It changed hands so much. We could not find any solid information about anybody in that house staying in that house for more than a year or two. And I have a list of names that go just through the years until my husband's family bought it in the 1950s. And that's the Ray family. And his great-grandfather bought it, and his grandfather and great-uncle lived in that house. They all lived, there's an upstairs apartment, and then there's a downstairs apartment. And they've all lived in the house until they all passed away. His family are really the only people we can tie back to that location that have died in that house. But we have found evidence of a child, of a male, and of a female, for sure. So that's just kind of like a brief little down low on the house. If anybody has any questions that pop into your mind, feel free to shoot them into the chat box. Don't hesitate to do that whatsoever. We'll answer the questions. I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of brief history about the home before we started. Then when Chris joined the group in 2009 or 10, in 2010. See, you've been with me and plagued me for so long, I've forgotten.
You're like the sister I never wanted. Just saying. Speaking of which, that's a good show on Monday nights. Make sure y'all watch it.
He is back to his feisty, well self. That is wonderful. So needless to say, Chris joined in 2010, and he had his mock investigation over there. Chris, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your mock investigation that you had over there?
Basically, it was, went in, I think we caught like 3 good pieces of EVPs. Me and Shane at one point were in the attic, and or the little add-on they call the attic, on the second floor. We kept seeing, there's a TV in the corner, and we kept seeing the glare on the TV screen, and then all of a sudden we couldn't see it, and then we could, and then we couldn't. And just me and Shane asked the question, are you in here with us? And we get an EVP, Class A EVP, that says, "Look, I'm over here." While me and Shane were downstairs and Shannon, another member, was upstairs, they decided to play a joke to ring a cowbell, which me and Shane jumped to our feet saying, "Did you hear that?" And we're running to see what it was. And at the same time they rung it, we heard an EVP of a laugh that said, "Woo ha ha ha."
And it was hilarious because it was this old school cowbell, and me and another investigators took it, and I was ringing the crap out of it. And you hear Shane and Chris downstairs, "What was that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" And Chris is like, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like upstairs like this, busting out laughing, trying not to let them hear it. And they were like, "Hey, you guys upstairs, did y'all hear that?" And we're like, "No, what are you talking about?" So it was a wonderful prank. We do sometimes play pranks on one another when we're in private situations and don't have a client, but it's just because it's a funny, and we tell everybody, "Hey, this was us playing a trick on you." So you have to have fun. You can't be so serious all the time.
I agree.
I believe. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off by playing what we found. Like I said, we went over there November the 21st of 2012. What we found on that investigation. Then after that, we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to play you the best, what I call the best of Walnut Street. This is basically just the best of everything that we found. The best of everything that we found. All the years combined. You know, Class A EVPs, any visual evidence. But November the 21st was so awesome that we just had no choice but to be like, hey, we got to show this. So we're going to go ahead and play that for you guys. And if you have any questions, be sure to shoot them into the chat box. And I want to give a special hi to Chandler MGPI before we do. But here we go, November the 21st, 2012. Which reporter?
3.
You and Chris.
Like. Did you hear that? What? I hear you. I was moving the chair. Like a little squeal.
Maybe you don't want us to leave you alone. Do you want us to stay? I heard a male voice.
Loving.
Did somebody just whisper?
No.
I heard a whisper. This piece of video evidence shows a camera cord that is run from upstairs being pulled upwards and moved. The next 4 pieces of visual evidence will show the cord being moved, as well as 3 other camera shots that show that there is no one within the upstairs area. A team member was laying on the floor in the master bedroom when he was scratched. We will begin by showing you both angles of video footage during the time in which the team member was scratched. After we show you both angles of video footage, we will then show you a photograph taken of his back right after he was scratched laying on the floor of the master bedroom. And we're back. We hope everyone enjoyed the evidence from November the 21st. It's pretty good. Video evidence. The cord was absolutely amazing. Watching it get yanked up, and as you can see, we showed clearly that there was nobody up there, and that was like a vicious yank, and it goes up and down, and then our poor little newbie Cody.
Well, that first video of the cord being yanked, if we played it for about another 30, 40 seconds, you would have seen everybody who was involved in this investigation walk out of the room to the right-hand side. So there was nobody upstairs. As for Cody...
Poor Cody.
Things happen, I guess.
This was Cody's mock investigation. No, it wasn't. It was right after Cody's mock investigation. Yeah. And he hadn't even been with the group for a month. And the poor guy, we've all been over there. I've been over there for years, like a decade almost, and never had anything physically happen until that night when Cody was with us. And then Cody got scratched first. And actually, that evening, I had a couple of scratches arise on a particular area that I was not going to showcase on Paranormal Minds.
Was it the incubus or the succubus? Which one is
no.
It attached to women?
The succubus attaches.
I think the succubus was there.
No, I think it's the incubus. It's the incubus.
Incubus.
But needless to say, I had a couple of scratches. I was sitting in a chair, I had my legs crossed, and I felt like a burning on my right hip, butt cheek area. And I was like, oh my gosh, Shane, come into the room. You got to look at this. Something's burning on my butt. I had thought something had bit me. And he goes in there, and I had 2 little scratch marks on my hip / right.
That's a little too much information for me.
Butt cheek area. So, I was not putting my butt cheek out there for the world to see. I put Chris's butt cheek out there for the world to see, but not mine. You like that, don't you? Your butt cheek out for the world to see?
I got a pretty nice butt cheek.
You want to turn around and show it real quick for our viewing audience?
No.
Alrighty, so what we're going to move on to next is the best of Walnut Street. The best of what it has to offer. This is, like I said, composed of all the years that we have been investigating there since 2009. That is essentially now 4 years worth of investigating a house. And for any paranormal investigator, I believe this is ideal. Because we go to a location, we visit once, they call us back maybe twice, and we go to a location. I'm sorry, Eric is saying that we do not have sound. Eric, do we have sound now? Anybody? You gonna sound? Do we have sound? Maybe. Possibly. Can we get a yes? No? In the chat room? Hoping.
Hello, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Well, we do have 3 of our members.
Cody, this is your debut. What? I mean, come on. Do we have sound? Do we have sound? Can somebody say yes, you have sound? Chris is going to take care of it. So anyways, for any investigator, and I'm hoping I have sound, because if not, I'm talking to myself, literally. For any investigator, we have, it's ideal to be able to go to a location more than once, and we have 4 years worth of investigating at a house that we have compiled evidence of. And when you can do that much investigating at a location, you really can get a picture of what that location has to offer, and you can use that evidence to kind of understand what's going on at that place. When you go once or maybe twice, you're only getting like a little bit of an understanding what kind of haunting stuff is going on. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Yes.
So I personally, one of the best, honestly the best personal experiences I've ever had over there was with Shane, my husband. It was while his grandparents were alive, or his grandfather was alive, and he was upstairs plundering because he's a plunderer, and he called me on the cell phone and he said, "Shannon, we still cannot be heard." Seriously? He can now. Okay.
We're back.
Was I talking to myself this whole time?
I think you might have been.
We're going to work on this. I don't know what was up or what was going on. We were talking about the house and how investigating a house for 4 years and being able to compile that kind of evidence really gives you a picture of the house. Usually when you do an investigation, you are only there like once or twice at a location, and then you're gone, and you don't get you cannot compile enough evidence to be able to get an accurate picture of what is going on. So when we get to do this house on Walnut Street for 4 years, we can really compile and show everyone what's going on and have some definitive answers. And that is a very unique thing for any group and any investigator to be able to really understand something that's going on in a home. Shane, like I was saying, has had one of the biggest personal experiences that sticks out in my mind is with Shane. He was upstairs when his grandfather was alive, and he was plundering, and he called me on my cell phone. I was downstairs. I was actually about 8 months pregnant with our son Chandler, and he called me on my cell phone and he says, "Shannon, are you downstairs singing?" I said, "No, honey, I'm watching Jeopardy."
Wow, really?
I said, "No, honey, I'm watching Jeopardy."
You could have lied about that.
No, it's true though. And he said, "You swear you're not singing?" I said, No, not at all. And so he said, "Okay." So he hangs up the phone, and about that time, about 2 minutes later, he calls me back and he says, "Seriously, Shannon, are you humming or singing?" I said, "No, baby, I swear I'm not." And I guess about that time, he heard it in his ear, and all of a sudden, I hear him. This is one of his very first experiences with the paranormal, so he kind of freaked out about it. All of a sudden, I hear him coming down the stairs like, "Boo!" And I look up, and I'm like, "What in the hell? What is going on?" And he said, "There was a woman, and she sung in my ear, and there was nobody there. And at first, I thought it was you." And he was like breathing heavy, and he was all crazy. So that's actually what got him interested in the paranormal. Before that, he knew I was into it, but he kind of thought I was crazy. So I guess it kind of takes it happening to you to not think people are crazy.
I guess so.
So, what's your best personal experience from over there at the Ray House on Walnut Street?
Probably that time we saw that shadow figure dipping in and out of the curtains.
Yeah, and that's something that we've seen a lot over there, is that shadow figure going in and out on that attic area and on the floor. I've also seen it crawling on the floor.
Yeah, the first time I ever saw it, I let Shannon know. Well, I saw it a couple of times actually, and I tried to tell her about it. And there's a room that adjacent to the attic area, It's not really an attic. It's not above. It's kind of over. And I kept telling her about it. She's like, nuh-uh. So I said, come here and stand right here. So she stood in front of me. And all of a sudden you hear out of Shannon's mouth, no way. I said, I told you. And you would see, all you see is kind of like what we've seen before with shadow figures. In a window, you see shoulders and head come out and peek a little bit and then come back. And at one point, it got to the point where it was standing at the attic door and it would peek out. So I guess that's getting familiar with us, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's getting familiar with us and more comfortable with us. Even to the point where it scratched Cody. Yeti says no butt cheeks yet. Even to the point where it scratched Cody and made interaction with Cody, and then it even scratched me. So I think that it's been very beneficial and very good to be able to go over there. And it called your wife Lex's name once. Yeah. That was pretty cool. I don't think she thought it was cool, but I thought it was really cool.
Her name's actually been called in several locations, probably 2 or 3.
And I had a location where something told me it wanted to kill me. I don't know why. You're the obnoxious one. I don't understand why it doesn't want to kill you. He's going to smack me. So, Chris, you need to speak up. Just saying. Next, what we're going to do is play for you guys the best of Walnut Street. This is the best of all the evidence over the course of 4 years that we have found at that Walnut Street house. And it goes fairly, well, there's a good little bit of audio. Please, if you have headphones, we only picked out Class A EVPs, which those of you that do not know, Class A EVPs are the ones that are crystal clear and that you can really understand. Then it goes down to Class B, which you kind of need with headphones. Might need to be amped up a little bit with volume. Class C needs a lot of amplification and dig deep with the earbuds kind of deal. But we only picked out Class A for everybody to hear for the Walnut Street, location. So, but still put on your headphones if you have them, so that way, because I don't know how the volume is with these audio files. This is actually our first time playing these audio files like this. So if you have earbuds or headphones, plug them in, or hold the speaker really close to your ear if you're having trouble. So here we go, and this is the best of Walnut Street. This is something we just compiled just for Paranormal Minds. 4 years worth of audio and visual evidence compiled for Paranormal Minds.
Hope you enjoy it.
That's me.
You scared me.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, where's your flashlight? You're horrible.
ask questions, we want to still tell it, leave it on one night, no, yes, leave it light up for an hour. And then like, we didn't have it done, but you did, like,
Yeah, it's not up here. I'm in that room. Are you okay with being last? Yeah, no, you're great. You mean Pam?
Pam. Fourth means it's probably dying.
Okay, here I come. I'm coming into the attic. Here I come.
Yeah.
you're looking out there. No one in the room.
we're back.
Hello.
We hope that you enjoyed the Best of Walnut Street audio evidence and some video evidence. I thought it was really super, super duper cool when the camera moved. That was pretty awesome.
And just to clarify, we didn't have the view screen open, so it wasn't loose or anything. The camera was actually moving. And like I said, there was nobody in the house at the time. We were all out on the porch. So I have to chalk that up to evidence.
Yep, absolutely. And we hope you didn't miss us too much. Did you just do a hair check again?
Yeah.
Again? Really? But that was the Best of Walnut Street had to offer that we've collected over 4 years. And that's pretty impressive to be able to just be at a location and collect that kind of evidence. And like I said before, we only have collected Class A. That was Class A that we showed you guys. We still have other stuff that was a little bit harder to hear that we figured for broadcasting purposes it wouldn't be beneficial to broadcast.
Yeah, we literally sat over here Sunday for 2.5 hours going through. And that's just the stuff that we isolated out, not including how many hours of audio and video we have.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like we said, just to recap, with the Walnut Street house, it's an amazing location, and we have been very blessed. It's a historic home in downtown Macon. For those of you that are just now joining us that weren't here at the beginning of the show to hear us talk about it, that evidence was from the Walnut Street house in downtown Macon. Macon, Georgia, where we are based out of, and it is actually in my husband's family, and we use it for mock investigations and kind of like a paranormal training ground for our team. And it is just absolutely a wonderful place because it's actually haunted, and we can take people in there, and as we showed earlier, some of them even get scratched, which I didn't even realize that was a possibility over there. So I think it was absolutely just a great place, and we wanted to showcase that for you guys and kind of show you what we find, and that's how we present our evidence. And anytime that you guys want to find our evidence or see what are the new things that we are posting, it's always current at middlegeorgiaparanormal.com. And you can go on there, follow our latest investigations, and follow all the evidence that we have from investigations. So it is a great thing that we have this house on Walnut Street that we can take new people to. And actually next week, when we talk about the Gansfield experiment, we're going to do the Gansfield experiment over at the Walnut Street house. And Chris is going to be the guinea pig.
Yes, I will.
He's a cute guinea pig. Look at him, isn't he cute?
We'll have a full report on exactly what occurs as we'll be doing it this Friday night.
Yeah, and we'll be recording and filming it so we can show you guys what's going on and what happened, and you don't have to just take our words for it. We can actually show you what happens. So that'll be something great next week that everybody can tune into and everybody can watch for sure, without a doubt. I think so.
I think so.
We're going to do a commercial real quick because we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after the commercial, then we're going to talk about the commercial.
Yes, we are.
So don't miss us too much.
And enjoy it.
Maybe.
Pay attention.
Very close attention. you want to talk about our commercial?
Which one?
Are you serious right
Coming up, May 3rd, May 4th, Lower Catskills Paracon will be hosted in New York, Shanley Hotel. It's going to be the one they're going to be talking about for the rest of the year, so you don't want to miss it. You got anything there?
Yes, it's going to be amazing, and it's hosted by Penn, which is the wonderful network that hosts us, with Eric and Kim, who are two wonderful and very special individuals and hold a very special place in my heart. You like that, right? Don't lie. So, needless to say, it is going to be great. They're going to have some amazing guests. The lady that actually is the FBI agent that Silence of the Lambs.
The movie was
based off of
who
her
trained
experience.
Jodie Foster for the role.
Yeah.
She will be present.
Y'all remember the movie? It puts on the lotion. It rubs in the lotion.
You know that movie a little too much.
It's because I have to watch it to be able to take in reminders and make notes about how to torture you. How a true inner workings of a psychotic works, so I can make sure to torture and kill you.
I appreciate it.
I've made it live on the internet, so everybody knows now what I'm doing.
But me and Shannon will be present.
We will be. We are going to be the gophers and the slaves of Kim. She can work us hard. And you're going to scrub toilet bowls.
Also, for a small fee, you can also do an investigation at the Shanley along with us. Mm-hmm. Numbers of other people. Like I said, it's something you don't want to miss.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome. Most Paracons are not at haunted locations. Most Paracons are like at big auditoriums. And they're cool, don't get me wrong, but how awesome is it to have a Paracon where you get all this paranormal information, all these paranormal people together, paranormal guest speakers, and it's at a haunted location. Like, that's awesome. And if you're not going to be there, well, you're just a loser.
Well, I will be there, so I guess I'm not a loser.
Yeah, no, you're still a loser. So moving on from that, we are going to move into, you ready? Paranormal news. And here we go. Paranormal news. We tried to find really cool, awesome stories to talk to you guys about because we can.
Some of them are kind of out there.
Hey, I like them. Okay, me and Chris have two totally different visions on what cool news is. So we should be pretty good covering bases about who likes what and who likes what. So, just saying. You want to go first?
Speaking of that, you gave another plug. Just saying, Monday nights, make sure you watch at 8 o'clock.
That's my favorite saying. Are you going to go first?
I will go first.
Okay, go for it.
Mine reads, ghost spotted in garden, bathrooms, and peeking through curtains as supernatural sightings soar. This is done by Brandon Hughes of the WalesOnline.com.
So it's English news, darling.
Pretty much.
Cool, darling.
All right, it says there's something strange going on in Wales. Welsh ghosts are on the increase. Welsh police forces received an unlucky 13 reports of supernatural spirits spooking homes last year. Only 13? You get that like in a day in the United States.
But it's a little, darling, very little town. Chap.
Up from only 2 Welch's ghost incidents in 2010. Ghosts have been spotted in bedrooms and gardens in Wales, peeking through curtains and moving objects around their haunted homes. Well, that's what they're supposed to do, right?
Maybe.
One frightened caller told police they saw a ghost face in a pile of cushions. I think that's
That might be like a little Matrix scene, like seeing Jesus in butter.
Okay, we'll move on. One caller's son said he had a touch of the sixth sense after seeing a ghost in their garden. Alright, now it's going to get even better than this.
Alright, here we go. Here we go.
Well, supernatural tour guide Jim Crowland was unsurprised by the sighting, saying Wales is considered one of the most haunted countries in the world.
Is it really?
I
think it's because it's small, though. Does that even count? Because it's that small.
It's still a country, so it's got to count. The 47-year-old who organizes ghost walks as a part of Wales history and haunting says there are more sightings and reports of ghosts in Wales than anywhere else in the British Isles.
Well, that's understandable, but I still don't think in the whole world. I'm just saying.
No, it says one of the most haunted.
It doesn't matter.
North Wales police received a large number of ghost sightings reports in Wales. Stop doing that.